The victimization of the disabled is a real, but often ignored, epidemic in Western society.
In fact, according to a 2014 study, 90% of people with developmental disabilities will experience physical or sexual abuse at some point in their life.
Although we have come a long way from the early 20th century, when the disabled were often viewed as less human than their healthier counterparts, with groundbreaking legislation such as the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990 and the Disability Discrimination Act of 1995 in the UK, the disabled are still denied the respect and protection they need and deserve.
Even today, philosophers like Peter Singer argue in favor of eugenics, and the disabled are victimized at much higher rates than non-disabled people.
In fact, a study of the Bureau of Justice statistics show that 1.3 billion non-fatal crimes were committed against disabled people in 2012. This means when adjusting for age, violent victimization of the disabled was nearly 3 times that of non-disabled.
The more profound the disabilities, the more vulnerable the person. In 52% of violent crimes against the disabled, the victim had multiple disabilities.
And many disabled people live in constant fear of abuse. In fact, 49% of people with intellectual disabilities experience 10 or more sexual abusive episodes in their lives.
Also, this epidemic is not unique to the United States. This is a worldwide epidemic.
In a survey conducted by the University of Hamburg, 60% of respondents said they would let a disabled child die. A Eurobarometer study showed that 35% of Europeans view hate against the disabled as common.
Sexual abuse against disabled person is approximately 2 to 3 times higher than against non-disabled persons.
To make matters worse, according to experts, a number of these figures are actually underreported. Likewise, crimes against the disabled are harder to prosecute because our criminal justice system often sees the disabled as unreliable witnesses.
As a result, despite the rampant abuse against disabled people, less than 100 hate crimes against the disabled are documented each year.
So what can you do to help stop this epidemic of abuse? Just be aware of the situation and look for the warning signs of abuse.
Look for the physical signs, like injuries such as bruises, cuts, and scrapes.
Also, look for behavioral changes such as change in sleep schedule or fearful reactions to being touched, toileted, or bathed.
And look for the signs of neglect. It often goes hand in hand with abuse. Things like signs of poor hygiene or malnourishment.
And if you see something, say something. Do not hesitate to report even suspicions of abuse to the police. And if you suspect that a caretaker is an abuser, report them to their employers immediately. If you feel you're not getting anywhere with these outlets, contact a disability protection and advocacy group, such as Disability Rights Washington.
Above all, remember that all people, disabled or not, deserve dignity and respect. So do your part, and if you see something, say something.
On campus,
Out on the street,
At work,
or wherever you are.
Don't ignore the problem. If you see something, say something.
don't ignore the problem. If you see something, say something.
Don't ignore the problem. If you see something, say something.
don't ignore the problem. If you see something, say something.